What's going on, YouTube? It's been a while. Just checking in. Got a couple of new projects, and we'll do a quick little update on the Conquest. But right now, I just want to show this pickup recently, Suzuki SX4 all-wheel drive. So I ended up picking one of these up, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago, and I've been liking it so far. Needed a little bit of work. I had a check engine light, but figured I can get that fixed, so I got that fixed. A couple O2 sensors and exhaust leaks or whatever, but nothing too big. And then this thing popped up on Facebook in my local area, about 10 minutes away. So apparently it needed or it was overheating. That was the story. So the story was that something with the serpentine belt, I guess, broke. And then they drove a little while. They didn't realize it. They were driving with a broken serpentine belt. Water pump wasn't working, obviously, so the car got hot. But they caught it quick enough to shut it down. And they didn't drive it home. They had it towed. And then owner kind of messed with it a little bit, tried to see what was going on. They put a new serpentine belt in it. It still overheats. The radiator and stuff got pretty bad. It's over here. So this tube melted off. This tube in here, there's supposed to be a tube that comes off into the reservoir. That melted off. I kind of cleaned this up a little bit. This was all melted. I was trying to just mess with it a little bit, see if I could fix it. And you can see the rad cap, the little pressure release, whatever thing, that the little valve that goes right here, broke off. So I got new parts coming. I got a new cap, I got a new radiator cap, I got a new reservoir cap coming. This piece here broke off. This was me just kind of, I just tried to make something work real quick so I could diagnose what was going on with the car. So I JB welded a little piece of plastic in there. And the inside of the radiator here was all screwed up too. This was all chipped right here. And I tried to repair it a little bit with some JB weld and stuff, just try to make it flat enough so that the system would hold pressure, so I can start the car and see what was going on. But I still think that this is kind of obviously not going to work. So I ordered a new radiator. So once I got the car back up and running, I think they ended up putting some bars leak or something in there, because there was all types of weird stuff coming out of the radiator. I'm pretty sure it was bars leak. This thing broke. It got so hot, this started to break here. But the radiator actually isn't clogged or nothing. It actually seems like it works fine, besides this part, obviously. And then the Gooch comes for a little visit, right, Gooch? You gonna come help me today, maybe? Probably not. So the thing with this car, why it was so hard to diagnose, is because there was no white smoke coming out the back. The car would not overheat if it just sat here and idled. I had it idling for like a half hour and it didn't overheat. No sweet smell. The plugs looked fine. I pulled the plugs, they all look fine. Here, they go right here. These plugs, they all look pretty good to me. Right? So I was like, okay, this is weird. What's going on here? Why is this car overheating? And it only overheat if I put it in gear drive, and I started to, like, I couldn't even get out of the driveway, and the temperature gauge would go right up to hot. And then once I would put it in park, the temperature gauge would come right back down to normal. So I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that the head gasket's bad on this car. Because there was exhaust gases coming out of the radiator. So pretty sure that's probably just a very, very minor leak in between one of the cylinders, but not too bad for it to smoke white out the back, and not too bad for it to misfire or follow the plugs up, or they caught it pretty soon. They said they probably drove like maybe 20-30 minutes like that, and that was it without the serpentine belt, so it wasn't enough to really damage it too bad. Nevertheless, it's got to get changed, so I'm in the process of taking this head out today. I got the valve cover off. I haven't really taken much else off yet because I've been watching some videos on how to get this thing out, and I think I'm going to go a little different than some guys. I saw one guy take off a Suzuki head with the intake manifold attached still. I'm not going to go that route. I think I'm going to disconnect this manifold and just kind of leave it in the engine bay if I can. Just kind of push it back towards the firewall. I did disconnect the hoses here for this coolant passage. I know this is not the thermostat. Thermostat apparently is down here somewhere next to the water pump. This is a J20B 2012 CTV automatic. So I think I'm going to leave this gooseneck thing on here if I can, because it's connected to the head. I know you have to disconnect this bolt here for that passage, that pipe that goes to the water pump. That's the water pump here. I'm going to see if I can leave the water pump attached to the block, because I'm going to try to go a different route than most guys. Most guys take the timing cover off, which means you have to take the mount off, which means you have to take the wheel off. You got to take all the pulleys off, the crank pulley and all that stuff, the serpentine belt. You got to pull the power steering pump, which is back here. The air conditioning has to come off, or you just have to loosen up the compressor and let it hang down, which is right there. I don't know. I really don't want to go that route, and this motor is a little bit different than some of the other Suzuki motors. There's a little bit difference here, so I think this is going to be a little bit different for me. I'm going to attempt to take this head off while leaving the timing gears and chain still attached. Meaning I'm going to disconnect the cams, right? Take all the caps off the cams. And then I'm going to see if I'm able to just lift the cams up a little bit, or like tilt them in a manner that I can just kind of pull the head up a little bit, because the head's got to come up off those dowels that are on the block. Maybe like, I don't know, ½ inch. Maybe if I could pull the head up just a ½ inch and then kind of swing it out this way and then take it out with the cam still attached to the timings, the timing gears. Because I really don't want to have to pull that out. I know you got to get the bolt out in here, and then there's probably one underneath this cam, so that I don't know if I'm going to be able to do. So I don't know. I really don't want to have to pull the timing cover off, but this is what I'm going to attempt to do anyways. If not, whatever, in the next video you'll see what happens. But right now, this is where I'm at. I think I'm going to work on getting the exhaust manifold off, because that's pretty easy and straightforward. And then I'll try to work on the intake manifold. And then I'll take these caps off and see what's going on. If I have to take this off, obviously the timing cover will have to come off. I really don't want to have to take the timing chain off. But anyways, we'll see what happens when I get there. And that's where I'm at with this car. I got the head gasket and all that new stuff coming. These are all the parts, obviously, over here on the floor. Oil cooler and all that stuff is in the bucket. And here's the filter, the tranny filter. I'm going to do the tranny, the CTV oil. So I opened that up and I pulled the filter out. It's supposed to be a lifelong oil or whatever, but there's guys that change it every 20-30,000 miles. So I took it out. And it looked like there was a little bit of stuff going on in there, not too bad, but you can see there's a little bit of debris on the magnets too. The pan's back on the transmission right now, just temporary. There's the gasket. So I got a new filter, I got new gasket, and I'll have to get some oil for that. That oil's not cheap. I didn't realize it was so expensive until I started looking it up. But that CTV oil is like $10 a quart. But like I said, you only change it. Some guys change it like 20-30,000 miles. So I probably won't ever change it again after changing it this time. But that's that. I'm really hoping that I can kind of figure out a way to not have to disconnect these cam shafts or the cam gears. Or maybe I could just disconnect the cam gears and just kind of slide it over and take the cam out. that won't work. This is a little bit tighter because I don't think I'll have enough space between this bolt and the timing cover. But maybe I could just loosen it up to the point where this cam will just disconnect, and then I could just leave this chilling here. That's what I kind of think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this all out of here, loosen this up to the point where this cam will come sliding off. That way I can get the cam out, and I could leave the gears in place so I don't have to mess with the timing, and that way I won't have to take the timing cover off and all that accessory stuff. Dude, that'll save me like hours worth of work. Alright, so here's the Conquest real quick. I ended up taking out all this rear interior stuff just because I did have a mouse still living in this car over the winter. It got in here. It might have been in here since I got the car. I don't even know, but I thought I had got him out. I cleaned out all that front interior because he was living in the vents and stuff, and then I checked again this spring, and he was living back here. There was stuff all underneath the spare tire. There was all these nuts and everything that he was eating and stuff, and then I was like, man, I was seeing poop droppings and everything still, so I ended up ripping out the rest of this interior in the back here just because I had to find him, and he was living in here. He was living in that little crevice there. I found this little nest. You could see all his little disgustingness. So pretty bad. Yeah, it stinks back here still, but I did find him. I had these sticky traps set up. I put one in each corner, and within a couple days I found him. He was stuck to the sticky trap. Poor guy was probably suffering like crazy for a couple days, but shouldn't have been living in my car, you know. But anyways, got him out. But see the mess that he was making? This is why I was really trying to get rid of him, because he started doing this. He started chewing up all my wiring and stuff, and that was not cool. And actually the trap that he got stuck in was on this side. I put a new trap. And this wiring for the taillights and stuff was still over here. And while he was in the sticky trap, he got bored or something. He started going at my wiring for the lights and stuff back here, so not cool. We'll have to fix that, obviously. But yeah, that's where this car is at right now. No interior. I'm just letting it air out for right now. And hopefully I'll once that head is on the SX4 and that stuff's done, I'll start working on the block for this thing again. I got to put this back together. I just kind of cleaned it up a little bit in here, not too crazy. I still got to clean up some of all this crap, this black stuff. Kind of procrastinating on this job a little bit, but it'll get done this summer. At least the motor is going to go back in this summer for sure. And that's where I'm at with the Suzuki. So stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Like, share the videos, leave some comments. I'll do some more videos on this today probably. My progress. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do something special there, save some hours. If that works, that's gonna save some time for some of you guys if you guys need to do head gaskets on these things. But like I said, some of the other Suzuki motors have this weird oil tube that goes like from here to here, so I don't know if it'll work on that situation. And that the cam gear on the other ones are a little bit different too on the exhaust side. But anyways, alright, that's where I'm at. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more update videos on the Suzuki SX4.